Hey there, it's episode 76 of the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast. And today I'm talking about losing it. Not my mind, though that's happened, I feel like. But I am talking about why losing it all was worth it. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast with certified life coach, mom of four, and just all-around lover of all things 80s, your host, Jennifer D'Amato. Buckle in. Let's get started.
So before I became an intuitive eating coach, and I am almost actually done with my requirements to be an intuitive eating counselor, I had my own health journey. I think I'm pretty typical. I thought I had to lose weight starting at the age of 17, senior year of high school. I can remember being so excited when my mom bought these shakes, and they weren't diet shakes. They were a meal replacement shake, but she bought them, and then I was like, oh, then I can just have that for breakfast. I don't need to eat breakfast, have a quick shake. We all know how that ended by the end of the day. I ate everything at the end of the day because I hadn't freaking eaten in the morning. However, it really was the start of the belief that I needed to change my body, that I needed to make my body smaller. I went to college. Again, I think it's so typical in that age where I have more time and I have more freedom. I'm going to not only eat whatever the hell I want to, but I also started exercising. Exercise really wasn't anything big growing up. We weren't, outdoorsy hiker, bike riding people. Other than Richard Simmons, sweating to the oldies in my house, exercise really wasn't a big thing. So I went to college, and freshman year, I discovered step aerobics. Yes, it was 1997, and step aerobics was everything to me. I worked out pretty much 5 days a week. Yes, I did all the other things like eating everything I wanted and, Mom, don't listen to this part, drinking. But I worked out every day, at least 5 days a week. And it became something almost obsessive for me. Well, as life would have it, I did not stay that way. Again, I really do think I'm a pretty typical woman, a typical person. Life got busy. Life got exciting in other ways, and I just stopped caring. I also fell in love, and I just knew that this man loved me no matter what. So I wasn't thinking I needed to be smaller or even aware that I needed to be smaller for him. Yes, that's a thought women have. So life goes on. Again, seasons come and go, and pretty typical. I stopped paying attention to myself altogether. I don't even consider myself in the equation. 3 years into our marriage, we had our first daughter. It wasn't exactly planned, just not really prevented. And I gained so much weight. I was very aware of how heavy I was. And it wasn't that I was thinking, oh, I'm carrying this baby. This is what my body needs. No, I can just remember feeling I gained too much weight. I'm fat. I'm overeating. And it triggered all of these thoughts again about my body. Like a lot of moms, I just put myself way on the back burner for years and years and years. Well, that was combined with, what fad diet can I try now? You would think I had like a subscription or membership to the Fad Diet of the Month Club. Anything and everything I can try. And that included official diets like doing paleo to lose weight, or the zone diet, because if Jennifer Aniston looks amazing, clearly this Jennifer is going to look amazing doing it, to not so formalized diets of I'm not going to eat any carbohydrates ever. I am not going to allow myself anything that contains sugar. All of it. All of it. So there's this combination of I'm on the back burner. I'm not really even considering myself. I'm considering whether it was we had one child, two, three, and then eventually four. And I'm trying any diet and every diet that's out there. It wasn't actually until after we had our fourth daughter that I'm like, I should probably take care of myself. Like, I should consider myself. It was like a novel idea. And I had told myself all along, I'm not going to lose my identity in being just a mom, right? Like being a mom is everything to me, but I can't just be mom because someday I won't be mom in the same way. I watched my mom go through that transition and it was so hard because so much of her identity was in being mom that when she wasn't a full-time mom, she's always our mom, but we all moved out, we grew up, all of that, like it changed everything. It hurt her heart. And I didn't want to end up there. So I'm like, I need to consider myself. I need to do something for myself. And it started with this outdoor boot camp. Let me tell you, the workouts were fun. It was outside and I was with my friend and I loved our instructor. She was just a fun, amazing human being. However, it came with weigh-ins and not just on a scale weigh-ins. It was measurements with a measuring tape all over my body. There was fat percentage calculations, BMI. At the time, I just went with it. I'm considering myself. I'm doing, what's best for me. And this is part of it. The workouts are fun. I had never lifted weights before. Remember, step aerobics. Step aerobics was the thing. I had not lifted weights before and I loved it. I was like, this feels great. And then I would go for my check-ins and I would feel like garbage. I would feel horrible. So what did I do? Got to work harder. I need to lift more, push myself at a greater level because I'm clearly not doing it right. I'm not getting there. I'm not losing enough. The inches are not coming off. I'd like to say that when I left that boot camp, I left all of that behind me, but I didn't. I went to a gym and the culture there was pretty much the same. They even had the scale where you can hold on to the handle, stand on it. It evaluates, as it says, from head to toe, water content, muscle content, fat content, and you get this printout, and then you get to feel like garbage again. You get to feel terrible about yourself, but turn around and go work out, show up more. I was working out for 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. Now, part of it, again, I was in this place of I'm taking care of me finally. I'm finally making myself a priority. And I wanted my girls to see that. I wanted my daughters to see that you can be a mom full-time. I was a stay-at-home mom full-time and take care of yourself. My kids have been homeschooled. Like the majority of my day, my time was with them in this space. But I wanted them to see you can also take care of yourself. And it got all muddied, all messy. Because what I started to believe was my body was wrong. My body did not look the way it was supposed to. There's something wrong with my appetite. There's something wrong with my thighs. There's something wrong with my arms. There's something wrong with my ability. There's something wrong with my willpower and control and all of these things. I spent years believing I was a problem. So what did I do next? I'm clearly not doing enough on my own. I clearly need to continue to shrink and change my body. So I hired a weight loss coach. Now, I didn't know about coaching. Like I knew about personal trainers, but not coaching. And I hired a weight loss coach. I counted macros for years. And if you're listening to this and you've known me, you probably have known me in that space. I loved it. You know why? Because I'm freaking type A. I love having the control. I love knowing where my target is. I love parameters and the boundaries, and I'm going to excel in what you give me. And I did. To the point again of becoming completely obsessed with the numbers. I lost the weight. And you know what? I was praised repeatedly for losing weight. Isn't that what we do? We acknowledge someone when they lose weight. Wow, you've really lost a lot of weight, and we applaud them, and it's a big to-do. I felt like there was a freaking ticker tape parade because I had kept losing weight, which kept confirming for me, I have to keep losing weight. It's better. People view me differently when I lose weight. I mean, I was pressing in so much that it was like every number had to be accounted for. I have pictures of, I called it a macro cap at night. I could still get something that seemed sweet. Guys, it wasn't actually sweets. It was faux sweets, but it fit in my macros. I timed and recorded every single workout. I had to burn a minimum of 500 calories with every workout, a minimum. Over was always better. I became obsessed with it. But I'm getting praised, and of course I'm seeing results. I'm losing weight. I'm thinking I'm doing something right. I had this magic number in my head, this place I wanted to get to. And guess what? I got there. I set a goal. I got there. Hello, again, type A personality. I'm also an Enneagram type 3. So if you know the Enneagram, you're like nodding along going, oh my goodness, this girl is a type 3. Like I completely hear it. I got there. I got to the place. I did not throw my own parade. I did not feel excited. I started feeling like, this is it? This is it? This is, for everything I've gone through, this is it. I don't feel any different. I started thinking, I must not have the right number in mind. I should probably keep going. And I'm going to tell you, I tried to keep going, and I'm like, something is not working here. What's wrong with me? Around this same time, I had been certified as a health coach and a life coach. So I'm working with clients who also want to lose weight. And what I'm noticing is, in the context of wanting to lose weight, what was coming up for them was they wanted more joy in their life. They wanted to feel more confident. They wanted to actually be happier overall. I could no longer coach on weight loss. I could no longer give into dieting and restricting myself repeatedly. I quit. Once and for all, I was like, I cannot do any of this. I had lost weight, but I had also lost so much more of myself in the losing of weight. It wasn't worth it. I decided to lose everything else. I lost the scale. I got rid of it. I have not weighed myself a single day since then. Now, I'll tell you, there's an asterisk on that. When you get anesthesia, they have to weigh you. I've had surgery. I have no idea what that number is. Never looked, never cared. I got rid of my Fitness Pal and any other ways I was tracking my food. I actually turned off the feature on my Apple Watch that tracks my steps, my movement, how many times I get up during the day. I was like, nope, we're done here. I literally decided to lose everything that involved dieting. Anything in my house that said low fat, non-fat was fake freaking chocolate, gone. This is the first step in intuitive eating, rejecting diet mentality. Diet mentality had come into my thoughts to the point where I actually could not differentiate between diet mentality and my own thoughts, because the thoughts I was having was completely immersed in diet mentality. It was the norm. And again, remember, it was praised. It was applauded that I was doing this. And my body, for a time, responded, like everyone's does, to restriction. It lost weight. But I was freaking hungry, and I was moody. And here's the kicker. I was so freaking tired all the time. I can remember one of the biggest wake-up calls I had was when my oldest mentioned to me, Mom, you take a nap every single day. I thought it was normal to be that tired. I really did. It actually wasn't until I started feeding my body, honoring my hunger, that I wasn't tired every single day. I can remember thinking, gosh, it's amazing I didn't need a nap today. And then that happened the next day. It's because I started eating what my body needed. I was no longer restricting. I also saw a huge change in my hair. Now, I can style it where maybe you don't notice it, but my hair is very thin. I have thin strands of hair and I also don't have a lot of it. Hereditary, wonderful. Anyway, my hair had been falling out at an exponential rate. I literally blamed it on everything else. I got extensions. I got a hairpiece. I did everything I could to mask the problem. Guess what grew in when I started eating again? My hair. My hair thickened on its own. And by thickened, I mean it just wasn't falling out at this exponential rate. So it feels so much better, so much thicker because I'm freaking feeding my body. I had to really lose the dieting, the diet mentality. I had to press in so hard to this first step of intuitive eating. Rejecting the diet mentality. It is key to being an intuitive eater. All of the other work that I had to do, all of the other work that I walk every single client through comes from this place of saying, no more, no tracking, I'm not weighing, and I'm not even listening to the messages, which are false, of diet culture. Now, some of my clients, what they agree to is to put it on pause. I have some clients who start working with me and they do have a desire to lose weight. I acknowledge that. I hold space for that. But what I explain to them is how much that interferes with being an intuitive eater. So they can only work with me when they agree that we're going to put that on the back burner. We want to really focus on the principles of intuitive eating. And again, some of my clients lose weight naturally because they've stopped stressing out. Some of my clients stay the same, but they're like, wow, I feel so much better. I have energy. I'm sleeping better. I don't feel tired all day. All the things that I completely relate to. Some of them do gain some weight. That's what happened to me. My body went back to what I believe is my natural set point for my weight, where I'm finally feeling amazing. Now, it's not like before where I was stress eating. I was not taking care of myself. Self-care was at zero. It was all about my kids, being mom, all of that, where I wasn't a priority at all. No, but it's also not at this place where it is full restriction and dieting and extreme workouts and everything I can do to change my body. Those two things are the extreme. There is a middle. That's where I live. That's where I take my clients. That's where I'm asking you, do you live there? Do you live in this space, which is freedom and happiness, and your body feels better, and you feel better being in your body? The size is not what's important. The size doesn't become the thing that determines how you show up for yourself that day. Have you decided I'm going to lose it all? The trackers, the MyFitnessPal, the weighing of self, the weighing of food, the restriction, the telling myself I'm bad because I ate this food, that I eat unhealthy. Are you ready to lose it all? Because let me tell you, when you lose all of those things, it's completely worth it. Maybe this was the message you needed for today, the awakening. Whenever you find this episode, you were like, this is what I needed to hear. Go into the show notes. Click where it says, book a consult. Apply for my coaching. This is what you've been looking for. This is the freedom you have heard about maybe, but you've not experienced it. If you're still on the fence and you're like, okay, I need to understand more. Can I get a little bit more? Right in the show notes, I also included a link to my first steps guide to intuitive eating. Now, I'm going to tell you the first one on there is reject the diet mentality. But I also share some other fundamental principles of intuitive eating, like honoring your hunger, dang, it feels good to not be freaking hungry all the time and to know without a doubt that I have fed my body with exactly what it wants when it wants it. So one of those options is probably for you. Book a consult and apply for coaching. Grab my first steps. You can also live in this middle, this place of absolute food freedom, body confidence, and redefine health for you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing part of my story. I hope that you found pieces of it that were relatable. Maybe you're that mom and you nodded along with that. Maybe you're the type A personality. Maybe you are the recovering chronic dieter like me. Whatever it is, I hope this found you right where you are and it served you well. All right, until next week. Hey ladies, if you've ever struggled with thoughts about your body, thoughts about, am I eating enough, the right foods? I don't even know what healthy is anymore. I want to invite you into a private consultation with me. Yes, I'm your podcast host, but I'm also a certified health coach, a certified life coach, and I specialize in intuitive eating. I would love to talk more about where you are in your health, what your desires and goals are for it, and find out if working together is the best step for you. All you have to do is go into the show notes, click book a consultation, pick the time and date that works for you, answer a few questions to apply, and the rest is up to me. I'll give you that call. We'll talk. It's all about you and meeting you exactly where you are. I look forward to talking.